Welcome to our first interview with the new President-elect, Mr. Les Malin. Les, welcome as our President-elect. Congratulations on your appointment. I should start by saying that we are actually sat in the comfort of our own homes due to coronavirus. It's meant that the AEA had to postpone their AGM, where normally Les would have been ratified. Les is the nomination from the president of the board. He is our president-to-be, so taking on board the title of president-elect until such time as it is formalised. Les, welcome. For the benefit of the members, could you just let us know a little bit about yourself, you know, how you've got on in your career and what's brought you to this place?
Okay, well, first of all, Ruth, I'd like to thank the board for their nomination and giving me this opportunity. It's quite possibly the biggest honour of my career, and I soon hope we can get the opportunity to make the necessary changes to the title. But to answer your question, I suppose the easiest thing to say is that it's been a series of wake-up calls or reasons to motivate throughout the years that have probably got me to where I am. By that I mean I absolutely loved my years on the farm. I had a sense of achievement every day and gave a real good kick out of life. However, my first wake-up call was probably something that is relevant even today, and that is the perception of the job and the industry, and a conversation with my then father-in-law to be, or possibly, and he said that no daughter of his was ever going to marry a farm worker. A shock to the system, but a wake-up call to me. To cut a long story short, I made the move to being self-employed as an agricultural contractor and eventually married his daughter. So things can happen. My first selling role was due to my contracting years still, where I was asked to demonstrate and sell machinery for Gallagher's, a New Zealand-based company. I was already using their machinery in my contracting business. My first job for them was to drive to Bordeaux to the French Vineyard Machinery Approval Centre and fit a leaf remover to a tractor. I'd been given a video of how it was supposed to work, but until the demonstration, I'd never seen it in action. I got the approval, I headed to a show in Montpellier to try and sell it then to French farmers, and I came back with an empty trailer. Due to a family problem, I needed a more stable income, so you could say that this was the wake-up call number 2. I started looking for a full-time job, and having seen an advert in a local paper for something entirely different, I found myself sitting in Mr. Robert Glenn's office at EP Barras. And after a few weeks, he gave me my first area manager's role, and that was in the industrial division, selling Yanmar engines and the newly acquired Polaris ATVs from the USA. I had 5 years of learning under Mr. Glenn, and to this day I believe he put me on the road to where I am now. I followed that up with a couple of years at Amazon Ground Care, where our previous chairman, and indeed at least one other board members, served time there as well. Then the biggest move in my career was a meeting in a little chef with Robin Taylor, who was the general manager of Etesia at the time. Robin had known me indirectly since I was a boy, as he was really into his football, and my dad was a referee and chair of the Berks and Bucks Football Association, so they knew each other well. Robin introduced me to Patrick Vivers, who was the MD of the UK company and president of the Etesia SAS. They made me the area sales manager for the South. Eventually, Robin retired and I was made general manager. At that point, Patrick and I discussed the workings of the EGMF, which Etesia France have been members of for a long time, and also our involvement in whether we should partake, as I say, in the AEA in the UK. The decision was made to join, and I think Etesia now have been active members since around 2006. I was made operations director a year or so later, and then managing director when Patrick semi-retired in 2017. So that brings us really to today. I've attended as many meetings as possible during that time at the AEA, both in the OPE council meetings and the OPE technical committee meetings as well. And I feel they give me a better understanding of how the industry in general works and not just the little world which I live in on a day-to-day basis.
Well, Les, you certainly bring a breadth of experience to the AEA, and obviously you deliver it with such passion that it comes across in your interview. You know, what does it mean to you to become president-elect of the AEA, and do you have any ideas? What's your main focus for your presidential year?
Well, I think that's going to be a big question to start with, obviously, with everything that's going on at the moment. I think what I and you and others envisage us doing at the start is probably having to take a different direction now. But really and truly, never in my wildest dreams that I ever thought that I'd have the opportunity to be sitting here as president-elect and hopefully to be president of the UK Association in the near future. The association represents a huge breadth of companies within the sector and as an association of historic importance as well as relevance to today. The association has clearly kept its relevance. Times change constantly. Technology is a mainstay of our industry. Frameworks and economics change. What makes or what keeps the AEA relevant is its contact with the members and their needs, keeping an eye on the current requirements for information, statistics, standards and legislative input, but also keeping an eye on what the challenge is and how the association stays dynamic, keeps us ahead of the game. In my speech, I referred to the skills and attracting new talent into our industry, and the AEA Board of Directors and my predecessors have worked consistently on addressing what the AEA can do on behalf of the industry and its members, and to reach a wider and younger audience and convey all the exciting opportunities our industry can offer. Working now with digital expertise and committing dedicated resource to working with colleges and within the spheres of social media and YouTube, we as the AEA can now bring together the resources of the membership and the opportunities of our sector, and by representing them in different media forms, we can engage with a whole wider public. It's a gap we've been missing. It's a piece in the puzzle that the AEA can bring. I see my role as ensuring the AEA continues to grow and to grow the membership, to grow in influence, and it can only be achieved by staying relevant. Yes,
Les, you mentioned staying relevant, and obviously we're at the moment we're working in very strange times. We're under the parameters of lockdown from the coronavirus pandemic. It is going to be challenging, and so bringing back our conversation to today's challenges, it could be a potentially devastating year for those in the outdoor power sector. What would your thoughts and reflections be on that?
I think as an industry, we have seen how we can adapt to adverse times in the past, but we're at a new crossroads now. It really is time to accept new technology, not just across our product lines, but across our methods of working, our business models, our distribution channels. There will be an emphasis on personal service and on understanding our customers to maintain them to a far greater extent than before if we were up to uphold quality, reliability and premium as we've always done.
So finally from me, I think you're absolutely right, Les. You know, to maintain that premium, it's going to be paramount that we talk to our customers, we adapt and we look at the technologies and the services that we can bring, which will only offer a better service than some of the other channels that we might be competing with in the future, such as e-commerce. You know, finally, Les, what would you like to be remembered for in your presidential year?
I think the most important thing this year is providing the services that members want and adapting to them under such strange and difficult times. The data that we offer can help our membership. The expertise of our technical and economic staff can really prove dividends in the difficult year ahead that many will have. Don't forget, we are still on target for the Brexit topic to be raised again with our pending departure from the EU at the end of the year. The AEA will still have to continue working for our membership on this, as well as the coronavirus issues that we have. So I will hopefully be remembered as the president who has not only maintained the traditions of the AEA, but has grown the services and benefits for its members in what is likely to be the most difficult year in its long and distinguished history.
Hope you're right. Thank you, Les. Thank you very much.
Thank you.